Hi, I'm John,
I'm David and I'm behind the camera today, switching things up.
and welcome back to Two Rail Fans. So we're kind of working out how we want to use our layout space up here, and the first step was just simply getting a temporary layout up. We have gone through some track planning software and come up with a plan, but I know from experience sometimes you just kind of need to see things in person to see how it's going to work. So we're trying to figure out how to utilize especially this middle section here that's only 2 feet deep. We're planning on having two main lines and a couple of sidings here in the middle. Uh, but we would like to have room for at least, if not some buildings, at least a roadway, something to connect the two ends of the layout where there's going to be more action going on. So this temporary layout, the track isn't laid out exactly how we're going to have it. So what I did is I just picked up a few pieces extra track here,
Nice.
and this the outer track will be about in this position. I'm just going to kind of lay these out and check out the spacing and see what we have room for. So these would be the two mains.
Now we're gonna have some sightings too, right?
That's correct. So actually what we're planning on doing here, and I kind of got this idea from DJ's Trains. Big shout out to DJ at DJ's Trains. If you haven't checked out his channel, please check it out. He's a real train engineer, and a couple of these ideas today I actually got from watching his videos. So on this piece of track here would represent the outer main line here, and then this would be a pass-through siding in the back, and we're going to kind of depend on the backdrop for the industry back there. One of the things I picked up from one of his videos was when you have any kind of hopper cars or coal cars, for example, that would not be a siding. That's typically a pull-through train. So that's going to be a pull-through in the back. Our siding can actually take care of the actual industry instead of physical buildings, since we're kind of limited on space here. And then here, this is the outer main line. It's kind of difficult to simply not have trains running in circles, so to speak, on a layout like this, this kind of dog bone with a limited space in the middle. But to try and alleviate that a little bit, what we had planned on doing was taking the inner main line and swinging that in to run through towards the middle of the track here.
Now, why, David, do you think like that?
Just to show some action that's not only on the outer part. It's still going to be a train almost running in a circle.
Not very prototypical.
However, it's the best we can get.
Yeah.
So we also wanted to have a dead-end siding and a drive-through siding on this track. This is simply for storage, just a matter of practicality, because we don't have, by the standards of YouTubers, we don't have very much rolling stock. However, we do have some, and I don't really want to be taking it on and off the track all the time. So, drive-through siding for the industry.
The organized.
Outer main line. Dead-end siding from the inner main. Drive-through siding from the inner main. And then the main. So one of the things I also did, and see, we don't have a ton of space left here. And if I measured that with a tape measure, it's not going to mean very much. So one of the things that I did is just grab an old building that I had. This is also 40 years old.
The drugstore.
So it's just a drugstore, but this is a typical depth building. So I just wanted to put this up here and see if this is practical use of this space. And as you can see, it's not, because if we wanted to have buildings here and any kind of a road coming through, which you got to have a road to get to these places. We would have to remove one of these sidings back here and move the main line back a little bit. So either we have the building here, or I'm sorry, either we remove one of the sidings here and move the building back closer and have room for a street through here, or what we can do is, and I've honestly, I have thought about this, just simply having a road along here and working on landscaping the roadway along the tracks. I've seen Ron at Ron's Trains and Things. Big shout out to him as well. Enjoy his videos. Seen a lot of his videos with landscaping a roadway, and there's actually a lot you can do to add a lot of realism to it. So anyway, this helped a lot because I can actually see on here as opposed to trying to guess on a computer program or a piece of paper exactly how much room we have here.
So you can like visualize more what it's gonna look like.
Exactly. So the building is not an option unless we remove one of these. However, there is plenty of room here for a roadway.
You can't do that on a track building module, can you?
Nope. So I'm going to step down here a few steps. So this is also another idea I got for an industry from DJ at DJ's Trains. He was talking about some kind of industry with tanker cars that doesn't need to be labeled, and it doesn't take very many cars, very many tanker cars to do this industry. And I'm kind of looking around at our collection already. So if we wanted to make this as realistic as possible, I'm just going to take a look at what we have.
Yeah.
So I have a Santa Fe car that's not labeled for any contents.
So it could be it could be anything we want, but it's not specifically labeled.
Cyanamide, which honestly I'm not sure what that is.
Neither do I.
And we have Schenectady Chemicals. And then the last one we have is a Jack Frost car which says cane sugar. So with these 5 tankers, it's clear that I can't have Exxon and cane sugar from the same industry. Probably the easiest thing to do is use the cane sugar car somewhere else. Mm-hmm. But again, this end of the layout is one of the places that we have to add an industry. So what I'm looking at now, so I have these 4 tanker cars, and I want to see how realistic it is to have a siding with 4 tanker cars parked outside for an industry. So I have this other piece of foam I just put up here to fill the gap here for the moment. So if we had a switch coming off of here and backing up this way to an industry, I'm just going to kind of line up these 4 tankers and see about how deep that would go on the layout here. Hopefully we're steady here. And it looks like that would work, so we can even take it back a little further. But as you can see, and again, thanks out to DJ at DJ's Trains.
Big shout out.
Big shout out to him. That's an easy way with just 4 pieces of rolling stock to have an industry, and we can kind of build it up and have it look pretty good just with that small number of tankers there. So I'm going to take the camera from David now. Okay. And David, why don't you step over to the controls here. Okay. As we've said before, one of the biggest things about the hobby is doing what, David?
Getting something running.
Exactly, getting something running. So today we're going to be running our ABA Powered B Santa Fe's, Athearn Santa Fe's.
3 cattle wagons and 3 other just kind of random stuff.
David loves the British terminology. So they're going to be cattle wagons or cattle cars. And we're just going to take that for a trip around the track here, David. Let me actually come down to this end of the layout so we can catch it coming down the track.
Keep in mind it will be very noisy.
It's a little noisy. I'm going to be doing another video about some maintenance I need to do on the one Santa Fe. but we'll worry about that another day. Go ahead and give it a run here at about 50%, David.
3, 2, 1.
Thank you guys for watching our video,
Bye.
and we will see you next time.